Hey everybody, welcome back to this episode of Think Business Live. Looking forward to talking to Konar. Great to have you. You are the founder at Business Lending Blueprint. Start your own home-based business. I love that. I want to give a quick bio so people kind of get a little deeper understanding of who you are. You're a passionate entrepreneur. And your mission is to revolutionize the alternative lending industry, one business loan broker at a time. Your training program, Business Lending Blueprint, has been the most comprehensive success guide focusing on leverage, low risk, high reward, and speed. It also has become a symbol of great principles to help people fund money. You are often in publications such as Entrepreneur, the Huffington Post, author of 2 books, et cetera, et cetera. So let's jump in. So I love this topic because I think a lot of times what I see as a business coach is people have ideas and they don't know what to do with it. And then people have ideas, but they don't necessarily have the money to, or think they don't have the money to build the business. And I think that's where you enter.
Yeah, definitely. First of all, great to be here.
Yeah, good to have you.
Your audience. I think there was a research being done in the United States that I think about 70% of the people at some point think about owning their own business, right? But only a very small percentage, take a stab at it. And one of the main reasons that that's the case is that they think, that's a good idea, but I don't have any money. That could be a good idea, but I need inventory. Yeah, who am I going to borrow the money from? I'm just a startup who's going to give me money. And this is not a big enough idea for me to sell shares on my company. So they built their own reasons as to why they shouldn't be in business. So that's
they built their own narrative based on their own self-limiting beliefs.
Right.
Yeah.
Although they might have maybe a $10 million idea, but since they never pulled the trigger on it, it just stays there. And 10, 15 years from now, they're like, "Oh, I had this idea back then.
Right.
Someone else did it. I thought about it the first." You hear that all the time, right? I wanted to do something like that.
Right. And so where do you enter? And I just want to throw this out too. So we're sitting here recording this live June 10th, 2021. And an article was published on CNBC on June 9th, which was just yesterday, that 4 million people quit their jobs in April, sparked by confidence they can find better work. I would imagine that a percentage of those people will ultimately start their own business. And so kind of where do you enter the equation? How would people even know how to get to you? And then what's the process of how you work with people to help them take their idea, their dream into a scalable business?
Yeah, great question. So people usually think about starting a business, then they go to online, and unless they know exactly what they want to do, they look for ways, what type of businesses to start. And the things they usually search for is the most profitable business. How do you make X amount of dollars in X amount of time type of thing? That's usually when they come across our platform, Business Lending Blueprint. So they either are impressed and they want to find a broker that are trained by us so they can get access to capital, or they like the business model and they want to become business loan broker themselves because when you become a business loan broker, a lot of times it ends up being more attractive financially than the original idea you had to starting your own business. That's usually how people find us when they're looking for their next way out, maybe from a job or the opportunity they think is so viable. Or the third option is they're looking for a specific amount of capital and they get kind of disappointed when they reach out to their bank and find out, oh, we don't really do startup funding unless you have collateral, like your house, your car, or something. And then they're like, oh, I got to find somebody who can lend me money. And that kind of leads to us.
Yeah. And so what does that look like, to loan somebody money, in today's world? When you talk about, hey, does it require collateral? Does it require a personal guarantee? Does it, what does it require? Because I think that's where a lot of the concern is too, right?
Sure.
I want to start a business, but I'm not willing to put my house up as collateral. I'm not willing to personally guarantee it. That's where the risk is. And then you hear all of these stories of entrepreneurs who say, I'm using, different scenarios and combining them right now. But, I mortgaged my house. I sold my 401k. You see it on Shark Tank all the time. Yeah. They say how much money, you see these people that really just go all in. But I think the big question is before you take that level of risk, have you done the research to make sure
Correct.
that people will buy your product and that you have something that people really view as a service? And so can you kind of talk about those two things? One, making sure that you have a product that people will buy or want to buy, and then two, how much personal guarantee do they need to bring to the table?
Yeah, great point. So a lot of people start with the idea of, I want to start a business because I want to make a lot of money, right? So
Right.
whatever you chase runs away from you. That's the main problem. So you want to start a business because you're solving a problem. If you're starting a business just to make more money than you're currently making right now, that's definitely the wrong approach. So people get sometimes the wrong idea on the things that they watch on Shark Tank. Oh, this guy sold everything, was all in. Now he's a millionaire, but he's one out of the 1,000 businesses that bankrupted. He made it. When you look at why certain businesses work, they had the proof of concept. Maybe they even sold it before they had the product, right? So I'm one of those stories. Like on my first training, I sold it before I actually had the training, just to gauge if there is any interest, right? So the way to look at it is not the other way around. So I got this idea. I think I can make a boatload of money. Let me just risk everything, see if it flies. Well, that's not much different than gambling. I think you have better odds of succeeding if you go to a casino and try your luck out there. But if you're starting a business, you got to make sure that what you're offering is in demand. People are willing to pay what you're going to sell it for. You got to understand how much the demand is. Maybe there is demand, but it's already market is like super saturated. So your odds of making what you think you'll make is not there. So it's really, really important to understand the market before you take any kind of risk. Even after that, so those stories are awesome, obviously, but you got to have the proof of concept. You don't want to be in a situation there where you're putting up your house, right? Because as you know, John, not everyone is motivated by fear, right? Yeah. So if you just put up your house to start a business, maybe that fear is so big that it freezes you. You can't even act. Whereas another person, they're all about burning the ships. I got nothing left. So I'll just have to perform and just get results. So you got to decide which one of you, are you? Otherwise, some people take too much of a risk. It just, because of the fear, they can't really do anything. On the lending end, let's say you figure that part out. You need access to capital. To what our brokers work on a daily basis is try to provide funding to somebody based on their personal credit score without any collateral. If they have a cosigner, or if themselves have 680 or above credit, they can actually get access up to $100,000. Now, that's not same as getting millions of dollars from Silicon Valley investors, but for most businesses, they need less than that to make their idea reality, right? Unless you want to go buy a McDonald's franchise for a couple of $1 million, you usually need, and the market average is like $30,000. People need $20,000 to $50,000 to get the business off the ground. And that option is with no collateral, so you can use your credit. If your credit is not good, then I'm sure you do know someone who can co-sign for you. That's one option. The second option is for existing businesses. Maybe you do have a business that generates some revenue that you can get funds off of to start your next venture or grow the existing one. Like through the pandemic, we've seen a lot of people, getting money to survive the business and also take advantage of the inventory opportunities and stock up on things, with the money so they can do more damage when the economy is back to normal. So those are the things that I think of when I think of someone telling me they want to start their own business.
Yeah. I love that. What's the entrepreneur of today, I think, has just like a different energy than even 18 months ago. Because I think from what I see and what I hear, the pandemic really put people in alignment with their values of what they want and what they don't want. So I was not surprised to see this article yesterday that 4 million people quit their jobs because they know that there's something better. Many of the companies that I work with, from solopreneurs to Fortune 100 companies, many of the people that were let go, many of the people already, if not all, in some cases, are getting jobs other places. Mm-hmm. And so there is this element, I think, of not only, having a job today, but having a side job, right? Growing a side business. And that, I think, would be part of your business as well, right? I don't want to give up what I have. I can't, because I have responsibilities and bills and family, but I can also give my 40, 50 hours a week to the company that I'm working with, and then another 40 hours or 30, 40 hours to build another business. And so talk about that, because that's a different level of risk where somebody isn't putting it all on the line.
Right.
And I would imagine you're seeing a lot of those as well.
A lot. Many of our members actually start off that their reasoning is that, listen, because the pandemic put things in perspective for a lot of people, right? Usually people will think, some people, hey, job is a very secure option, but then I can, I'm not doing that bad actually, right? They settle with good and sacrifice the great, I call that. So if they were to start a business, they would have done really, really well, but job is like, it's not too bad. I get paid every week. My boss is not that bad. I got my raise. I get my raise and all that stuff. But with the pandemic, even the most secure jobs, you lost it. And if you didn't lose your job or your business wasn't cut down by 80, 90%, at least you're reminded of the possibility of that happening, right? Oh, this could have been me. Now, that was a reality check for a lot of people. So they noticed that they're not safe. They got to have a backup plan or transition into something that's more like recession proof, even pandemic proof in a way. So we come across a lot of people who have a full-time job. And when we deal with sometimes single moms with 3 kids and they have a job, they have to sustain the family, keep the roof over their head, right?
Right.
So you can't just tell that person, hey, just burn the ships and build us.
Right.
Right?
You can't do it.
You can't do it.
Not realistic. Right.
Yeah, it's not realistic. I know people want to buy into those stories. Yeah, that's fine for those who make it happen. For most people, you got to take care of your family. Why would you do it that way if you can do it another way? So we come up with a plan. We call it the BAM, bare ass minimum. What's your monthly minimum for you to keep a roof over your head, food on the table, at least keep your current standards, where we can help you generate just that much so you can get rid of what's holding you right now. So if someone is making $5,000 from a job, how can we help you generate 5K so you're free from that 40 hours of drain of going back to the job? Then we can focus on building higher 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures. Because as you hear a lot, John, it's like people want to be millionaires overnight. Take care of the fundamentals first, then build the foundation. Then you can grow. You can get there. I have members who've gotten there, but they started somewhere.
Yeah, and when you really break down and you look at numbers, if you're making $5,000 and you need to make another $5,000, you just got to figure out how your skill set can make $125 an hour for 40 hours. And when you really break that down, it's not too bad, right? No. It's really not as hard as it seems. And I think a lot of times people are surprised by that number when they really calculate what their hourly rate is based on how they're working. And so you can then kind of tap into what that unique ability is and say, okay, I can start a business based on this. But then you need people like you, people like me. You need to surround yourself with coaches to help you accelerate and get there faster. If you can't afford it, you can listen to podcasts, read books. There's so many different resources out there.
Yeah, most of the business principles, as you know, John, you can buy for 99 cents on Amazon, right? So a lot of the principles that's been taught by Business Master, where you learn and I learn from, they're on the books. Principles do not change. Obviously, you and I will customize the strategies for the specific business model, type of business, but it's not an excuse for someone to say, I can't get a coach because I'm broke. I don't have any money. Or that's not an excuse at all, right? No. Like you said, you have to be really objective and realistic about what's really happening right now. What are your skill sets? And if you don't have the necessary skill sets, you got to go get them. Like there's no really other way if you want to make a change.
Correct. And one of the things I did based on that through the pandemic is, which I think has been really important, is the types of people that there are a lot of people out there that need coaching, and coaching is really, really important. And so one of the things I just want to say this is, one of the things that I've done is my clientele are typically one-on-one, but because of the pandemic in December, I started all of these group coaching models. So working with me one-on-one is more of a high-ticket, customized, full access, but all these different ones for sales and marketing, real estate agents, new entrepreneurs, attorneys, and people who are looking to, find time to do live meditations in business. They're all $100 a month. And so I say it based on, I only showcase it today based on what you're saying is, if you can't afford one-on-one full access, one-to-many, and these groups that I do are all live coaching once a week and on-demand back-end membership websites. So there is so much there's so much opportunity to get great content from great coaches. I want to talk more about you. Give me the 1-minute Reader's Digest version of you and how you got to today and what planted the seed for you to be the entrepreneur you are today.
Yeah, a lot of success comes from personal drama, I think. So I started my first business at age 7. Then my father had to leave us because he thought that we would be better off moving to another country. So that created a lot of personal drama, obviously losing our father for 10 years plus, 10 plus years. So that taught me the importance of making money, because as a child, you're thinking, oh, my father left me because we don't have money. So I guess money is important, right? So that kind of built up that mindset. Growing up, I was always looking for ways to how to make money. But then probably at age 16 or 17, I noticed that that's definitely the wrong way to do it, because I was like broke until in my 20s, because I was chasing money because I thought the lack of it creates a lot of problems. It wasn't until later in life that I remember certain instances in my younger life that whenever I was helping somebody solve a problem, I was rewarded. I noticed that's the same thing in business. Whenever you get compensated in this proportion of the problem that you solve for people. So that led me to create different training programs, helped me create multiple companies, and brought me to here, having this 8-figure company, helping more than 3,000 people build their own businesses. And those 3,000 people helped hundreds of thousands of people get access to funds. So within our network, more than a couple of $1 billion are funded. So that those principles let me there. So I think if I were able to fit it in 1 minute, that would be that.
That's great. Wow. That's quite a story. And you've built a great business. And I'm a big believer that many of us who are in our own businesses and roles, we teach our pain. And that's one of the reasons we're so good at it, right? And because we've lived through the stories and the lessons, and that's what draws people to us. Quick speed round. You ready, Oz?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Favorite book and why?
The Magic of Thinking Big. It shows your mind's potential.
Yeah, love it. Best piece of wisdom you've ever received?
Best piece of advice? Yeah. Take imperfect action. Don't wait for the right moment, right there, right business. Just take action.
I love that. Let's finish this sentence. One thing every entrepreneur needs to do starting today is?
Make an offer.
Yeah. Good. I love it. And define yourself in one word.
Efficient.
Good one. Last question. One thing everybody needs to do to get rid of a false perception, fear in their head.
Ask people who know you really well and find out what they will say about you.
I love it. Share with everybody your ideal client and how they can connect with you.
Anyone who has a strong why for entrepreneurship. Not obviously everyone is looking to make money, but that's not enough reason. If you have a strong why to make a big change in your life through owning your own business, I think you should check out what we have. It might be a good fit. It might not be a good fit. Only you will know that. But we were able to help thousands of people. So you can check out our website and find out if the system is the right fit for you. And your website is businesslendingblueprint.com. Correct. Yeah. All right. Oz, I just want to highlight a couple things and a couple final thoughts. The undercurrent of everything that you're talking about is hustle. Mm-hmm. And discipline and resilience and drive and inner awareness. And I think those are all really, really important factors that everybody needs to tap into, even on a deeper level all the time, to be a successful entrepreneur, because we're tapping into that and all of our senses every single day to make decisions and to forecast and to grow our business and to, most importantly, help other people accomplish their dreams. And it's that consistent, persistent action that we take that is so important. And we can't be afraid to jump in, feel the fear and do it anyway, and just jump in. And there are resources out there to help. You just got to have the courage to pick up the phone and make a phone call. And so, Business Lending Blueprint
if it's a solution for you, reach out to Oz. Oz, any final thoughts from you?
No, I mean, I've definitely picked up a couple of golden nuggets from you, so that's definitely invaluable. It was an honor to be here with you and your audience.
Oh, you're too kind. I appreciate it. Think community. If you want more information on Oz, reach out to him. You can also go to johndwoskin.com and you can download my book and my ebook for free. That will, any entrepreneur listening, it will definitely help you grow your business. I want it to be a resource that everybody can get access to. So my book and my 100-page ebook, that's an interactive workbook, is downloadable for free for you at johndwoskin.com. Oz, I appreciate you being on the show, man. This was fun. Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
Well, here's mine. Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Think community. Thank you all.